There are several reasons that CBS ended Young Sheldon after season 7. Despite its continued popularity, Sheldon said goodbye with a 2-episode season final that aired on May 16, 2024, the second episode minor cut back, and fourth between Sheldon in the timeline of young Sheldon and the narrator Sheldon in the future, effectively ending any possibility of a revival for another season. This may come as a shock, considering that young Sheldon remains a massive ratings hit on TBS, even becoming its #1 comedy for the 2022 to 2023 season. But its potential ending has long been being discussed. When The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, it was also still very popular. CBS wanted to order at least one more season of the show, but Jim Parsons' decision to exit the series as Sheldon Cooper after season 12 basically forced the rest of the cast to wrap up the series. Things are different for young Sheldon, however, since the main cast has been vocal about wanting to continue doing the spin-off. That being said, several elements are not within their control, and that ultimately spelled the end of the family comedy. Even though it is at the peak of its popularity, the primary driving force behind young Sheldon's season 7 ending is The Big Bang Theory's established canon. Because of its prequel nature, the spin-off has a predetermined and the moment it premiered in 2017. Sadly, the final season was already approaching that point in the timeline. Deviating from the narrative schedule is far too big of a plot hole to ignore. According to The Big Bang Theory lore, Sheldon only has 1 year left in college when he returns from Germany in Young Sheldon season 7. After that, he moves to Pasadena to begin his postgrad studies at Tech. That left the offshoot just enough time to send him off. The fact that Sheldon was leaving the series to go to Germany and then to Caltech, there was no longer a story to tell when it came to this specific character. When Sheldon's story ends, this series ends. But that does not mean the end for the young Sheldon universe. ADM Sheldon has outgrown its original story. It has increased its focus on the rest of the Coopers. The idea for young Sheldon came from CBS' attempt to further capitalize on the popularity of The Big Bang Theory, and there was no better way to do that than by awarding its most recognizable character his own show. Sheldon's pennant for sharing anecdotes about his childhood in The Big Bang Theory became the launching pad for the narrative, resulting in a prequel that is set in Texas in the last couple of years. However, young Sheldon has clearly outgrown its premise. Instead of Sheldon being the focal point of the series, it has diversified its storytelling and increased its focus on the rest of the Coopers. The end of Sheldon's story, though, does not mean the end of the Cooper family story. While there were complaints about the network canceling young Sheldon from the cast, the complaints were short-sighted because things do not end with the end of young Sheldon 7. Young Sheldon reaches the end of its last 3-year renewal. Young Sheldon scored a 3-year renewal in 2021 when it debuted. Young Sheldon was a hit right out of the gate. CBS was understandably thrilled about this, awarding the show multi-year renewals. In 2021, the network gave the prequel a rare 3-year order, guaranteeing its run until the 2023 to 2024 TV season. Moving beyond that timeframe means that everyone involved would have to get back to the negotiating table for brand new contracts. It seemed that CBS didn't want to deal with what potentially could be a rigorous process. However, the spin-off shows that this is only a minor consideration. While Iain Armitage is leaving the franchise, at least as a full-time star, the franchise continues on with the sequel series, and while Armitage will not be returning, at least 2 of the cast members are coming for the spin-off series because it centers on Georgie and Mandy. Other actors from the series are also expected to return for the spin-off, as it would make little sense to introduce an entirely new cast of characters for this story. This does mean new contracts, but CBS was willing to do so thanks to the franchise's popularity. 6. Young Sheldon's young actors are growing out of their roles. Sheldon and Missy are just about to turn 14, CBS kicked off young Sheldon, with Sheldon and Missy both 9 years old. This matched with Iain Armitage and Raegan Revord's real-life age at that time. However, knowing full well that the show can only run until Sheldon is 14 years old, which is when he begins his postgraduate studies in California, the network has slowed down the character's aging process. After 7 years, Sheldon and Missy are just about to turn 14 in young Sheldon Season 7, when both Armad and Revord have already turned 15 in 2024.